Today we're dealing with a picnic pork roast shoulder, and we're going to be cooking it. I don't have some of the equipment that she wants, so I'm going to be changing this recipe around a bit. But it's actually vegetables and a pork roast. The only thing you would need is some sort of bread with this. All right, I have a Cuisinart. I love this little thing. A little mini food processor. From Cuisinart. I'm very fond of it. All right. They want you to put 10 cloves of garlic, and we're going to use 10 cloves of garlic. I know you're saying that's a lot. Wait till you hear what else goes in it. They want a whole tablespoon of red pepper flakes. Yeah. See, they want me to mix this differently, but I have to do it this way. Sometimes when you don't have certain things, you're going to have to compensate. And you have to know how you can maneuver around to get it going. 10 cloves. Yes, good morning, Mickey. 10 cloves of garlic. And a tablespoon of red pepper flakes. Now, they say a bunch of fresh sage finely chopped. I don't have that. I have dry sage, so I'm going to use, well, you can use your imagination on how much do you put in here. Okay, so this is going to be full of a lot of flavor and a lot of vegetables. Okay, we'll see what that does. And they want a bunch of fresh rosemary finely chopped. Well, my rosemary's still under a lot of snow, so I can't get to my rosemary. So I'll be using this. And I know that is going to chop that up very fine, so I don't have to worry about that. So it gives you an idea of how much. I know, maybe you seem stuck on 10 cloves of garlic. Yeah. Let's see, we added all of this. All right, and now they want us to add, I don't think I have enough olive oil in here. And you happen to be cold, so let me melt it. Yeah, I'm going to do something we should never do. But I just got up like everybody else about 30 minutes ago. That'll take a couple of minutes. Now, I don't know what this is, so I had to find out. Do you know what this thing is? This is called a celery root, okay? I've never had it. It's the first recipe I've ever had. This is also going to take 5 onions, a pound of fingerling potatoes. They're little potatoes that look like little fingers. All right, you're going to need 2 pints of Brussels sprouts. As you can see, this is going to be most interesting. I guess so. Hi, good morning, Wrecking and Mickey. So we just have to wait for the oil to melt some, because in my refrigerator, it clouds up and gets hard. Okay. They didn't say how much oil either. All what they state is add enough oil to form a loose paste. Well, we're going to blend this up and see what I get. Okay, that's hot enough. I don't need that. I think this went with my rosemary. Hold on a minute. So I read this recipe. The picture is delicious. And I'm saying, well, I don't know if I have a pan like that. We'll find out. No. They want a loose paste. I know, finger time. Be careful of my fingers. Smells good. Yeah, we're working on this. This is the time I get up. I was up just about 30 minutes ago. Yeah, just a little over a half hour ago. And I'm already trying to get this going. Yeah, now you're getting to where I want you. See, you don't need a big processor. This little one is nifty how it works. Okay, I think I got what I need. Okay, got that done. Now you will have to ask the butcher if you buy a pork shoulder, picnic pork shoulder, you're going to have to ask them to debone it and tell them you want the bone. So now we've got that going. I want to get it in a bowl because we're going to have to rub this whole roast down with this thing. So understand. So when you mix this together, you don't want a thick paste, a loose paste, because of what we're going to have to do. I don't know why she didn't say do it this way instead of the way she wanted it done. Okay. That's the paste that we're going to be actually rubbing this roast down. But we've got a lot, so we've got that done. Now, in another bowl. Oh yeah, we're going to need a big bowl. Let's see. Onions, yeah. I'll just get an extra one. All right, now what we're going to have to do here is we need 5, if you have small onions or you like onions, you can add extra. We're going to need 6 onions sliced. Okay, so good morning, everybody. We're using actually a picnic pork shoulder with the bone removed with vegetables. It's a roast that we're actually making. So there's going to be a lot of chopping on this. You know, you want them sliced. What do you want? Sliced whole, or do you want them cut in half? Sliced. I guess you want some in rings. Okay. The only thing, you wouldn't need anything because this is a complete meal. It's got the starch in it. It's got vegetables in it. It's got the protein in it. It's got to have a gravy of some sort over it. This is like a one pot, everything's in it routine. Okay. I'm assuming, when they said slice, she wants them in rings, but I want to make them in half moons, but why can't I do it in half moons? I'll do it the way she, okay. Doesn't tell you how they want them sliced in thickness, so, you know, I'm doing about 1/4 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, something like that. Okay, Roy, if you have to go. All right, if you take a look at the first skin right here, and it starts to look a little dry, you have to take it off. You don't cut it off, you're gonna peel that whole ring off because the whole ring is actually turning into a skin. And this onion is gonna give me some problems. Okay, come on. Okay, how deep are you on this? We'll find out in a minute. Come on, get off. I'm trying to get the silk off. The silk is what's between the layers of an onion. If you've ever tried holding on to it and cut an onion, you'd be surprised what it can do. It'll slip everywhere. Okay, well, that one's a little big because you slipped out. Okay. I'm not going to argue with any more of you. Sorry that it's going to take a bit. You've got a lot of chopping to do. I could have done it all ahead of time, but then you wouldn't get it. Oh, okay, Mickey. Good morning, Mickey. Cherie, good morning. Yeah, well, I'm close to crying at this point. Onion number 3. See, these are these new chefs that leave a lot of steps out, which will discourage a lot of people from cooking, but they'll see the recipes and want to make them and then get them and then say, how am I supposed to do this? You know? This is where Julia Child was really good. She explained everything. She didn't leave you half out of it. This one's been frozen, so wherever it came from, it was very cold. Taking a lot off of this one. Soap come off. If I cut any more onion away, I'm going to have to get another onion. a roast today. Duke, D-O-O-K, Duke. Oh, come on. Some of these onions are really good. I almost want to say that these onions are a bit old, but they have such a strong, wherever they're grown, they are, oh man, I see now what the problem is with this one. Wherever these onions came from, these were not the greatest onions, or they were last year's harvest. Somebody left the channel yesterday because she's very, or he is very, very sensitive and doesn't like to hear the truth. Let me tell you something. None of us want to hear the truth. We want to hear the good. They really do. But you can't hear the good because that's not going to make you a better person. Okay, well, I'm not doing another onion. If I had torn too much up, I would have gotten another one. All right. Now, the potatoes, they want a pound, and they want us to have these lengthways. I know, you're not supposed to do that. I just did that. This is 1 whole pound. Because I ordered it. 24 ounces? No, this is more than a pound. I get to put some of these back. Let me get my scale so I can get a pound. Wait a minute. 24 ounces. I made it at 16. Okay. See, scales are wonderful. £1 exactly. Thank God. I did not want to use all these potatoes. Okay, these potatoes are going to have to be washed. Sit there, book. I'll be right back. All right, these potatoes are going to go in where you have your the bowl of your onions. I'm just going to lengthen them just like that. Let's cut them in half. Starch is high in them, which is your sugar. Because when you cut them, you can feel it want to suck to the knife. Good morning, everybody. Jason, Robin. Okay, put these with your onions. I know a lot's going to be going with the onions. But we're not done yet. There's still more to go. Brussels sprouts. All right. They actually want 2 pints, which is, let's see, pint. It's 1 pound. So there's a lot of Brussels sprouts. Now you know a pint is 2 cups. Okay. And you're saying, but these are not liquid. I know. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut the bottom off, just like that. And you're going to cut them in half and get 2 pints. So 1 pint is 2 cups. We're talking 4 cups of Brussels sprouts. Cut in half and rinse. Refrigerator. I hate this refrigerator. All right, that's 1 cup. Just rinsing it. Put that with the onions. This is chunky, as you can see. It's 2. Hey, what's she making this morning? I'm making a roast with vegetables. Good, Robin. I'm glad you planted them. I tried growing potatoes. My son mowed them over. Hi, David. Good to see you. Big. Good morning to everyone. Now, we're not getting to the roast till we get all this chopping done. And you can actually see there is a lot of chopping. Okay, this is number 3. 3rd cup of Brussels sprouts. 1 more. And we will have 2 pints. See, when you say pints, that's liquid measurements. Weight would be easier. I know everybody's thinking spring is around the corner soon, but we're still in winter. Well, there's a lot in here. Hi, Bank. Hi, Mike. We're making a pork shoulder roast with vegetables, and we have to get the bone removed from it, which I asked the butcher to do for me. Okay, we got that done. That was 4 cups of Brussels sprouts. Okay. I've never done this before. A 1/2-inch dice. Okay, 1/2-inch dices. Okay. This thing here is a celery root. For those of you that know them, I do not know this at all. I have never had it. Looks a bit weird. I wouldn't even know. If I saw it in the wild, I'd say, what's that thing? You know? I don't know why they call them celery. They want this in 1/2-inch cubes. This one here. I've never seen anybody pick it up at the store, but it seems to sell. But maybe they come in later because I do go shopping very early in the morning. It's much easier to shop early in the morning. You have to deal with everybody. I know what it tastes like. It's blanding, but as you chew it, you can find an underlining taste on it. I don't know what it is. I think radishes, but it's not as strong as a radish. Maybe like a turnip. See? You learn how to drink with lipstick. I know it can be done because I have a girlfriend who is physically disabled, and she did it. And she said, really? Her mother said, how did you do that? So she showed her mother, because I showed her. See? I'm going to make it my squares. That goes with the Brussels sprouts and the onions and the potatoes. As you can see, we're talking a big bowl. I don't think I need this anymore. Not till I go to feed my yeast. You could say this is like part of the turnip family. I don't know. She would not be happy with these cuts. She'd say, they're not the same size. That's all right. I don't care. I'll get over it today. That That was not an easy shape to cut. I think we're just about done chopping now. Okay. Only got seasonings left here. Okay, now what? Butcher's twine. You want to see how big this dish is. Does that tell you? And this is a big bowl. So you're talking about a picnic shoulder pork that most people would have. Boy, he really wrapped this thing. I'm going to have to stab it. Okay, you need the bones for this recipe, all right? I told him to take the bone and cut it into thirds for me that he cut out because I'm going to need it. Now we're going to have to, we have to undo this so you can cut all these strings. We'll have to re-rope it later. He did a really nice job for me. I thank him very, very much for this. All right, now they want you to open this. As you can see, this is a really big dish. You see this? We're going to rub the whole inside with this. And like they say, do not leave any nooks and crannies unrubbed. Rubbing this all in the inside. I'm sorry this is taking so long, this one. We're going to roll this back up and tie it. I'm going to try. I need that later. So what's extra twine? I got plenty of it. So you let the butcher know, if you get him to take the bone out, to please give you back, you want the bone as well. Oh, this fell out. No, that's going in there. We're not wasting this. Okay. All right, we're going to go in the middle. I am not good at tying these things. I need an extra set of hands, and you guys cannot get here to help me. This is when I need my husband. I need a finger. My husband was very good at tying these things up for me. I didn't have to worry about it. Now, being on my own, he would take one and go wrap around. I mean, he did all sorts of things. I couldn't figure out what he was doing. This is not working, Sandra. Don't worry, I'm going to catch you. They're coming around. Okay. Okay, let me see. Did I tie it up all right? Well, I tied it up close. Close enough. Not the greatest. But it's tied. Okay? Right, now that I've tied it, you want me to salt and pepper this thing? Well, you should think about things like that later. They want kosher salt. Not overly fond of it, but where did I put it? Didn't I leave it out? No, I did not. Generous with pepper, so salt and pepper. So that's up to you how you want, how much pepper and salt you wanna. I am doing well, Brandon. Good morning, Diane and Fortune. Iowa. You're up early because I think you're 2 time zones behind me, so it must be 3 a.m. where you're at. Because I'm on the East Coast. We're going to be putting more. Okay, well, whatever. Probably add more salt and pepper, I know me. Okay. Now what we want us to do, and I have to think about this because I don't know if I have a pan that can handle this. They want you to take a large roasting pan. Okay, well I could do that. They're talking about a really large roasting pan. Set your oven on 450. As you can see, this is going to be hot. Yeah, I have a roasting pan. Yeah, I found it. Okay. You want more time? All right, all the vegetables that we've chopped. I gotta move you over here. Okay, so hold on a minute. Oh, I can't put you there. Put you here, put this here. Put you over here. Yeah, you've watched me chop everything up. You're gonna take all of these. That's exactly what you're gonna do. Dump it in a big, heavy roasting. I'm going to mix them up with nothing else so I can get the color scheme going. Okay? Right. I think that's nice. All right. You need 10 bay leaves. As you can see, this is a nice meal. Okay, what do you want next? All right, they want you to add salt to this. Thyme bundle. Well, I'm not going to do that thyme. I have to get thyme out. They say to use a thyme bundle in here, but I don't have that. So, do the next best thing, add some thyme. All right, now here's what you can do with the bones. Put the bones right in here. By the way, I will be using these bones for other things as well. I'm going to take these bones when it comes out of here and I'll store them for stock. Okay. Nestle it in here. You've got to be kidding this. So we're going to have to move some of these and stick the bones further down in here so we can get this on top. They want you to put this literally on top of the bones. Okay? We got that. I think I want to do it a little different. Hold on. I don't like the way they're doing it. And put the bones down on the bottom. I think that would be better. Okay? Then we have these more around it. You have to admit it does look nice. Okay, that sits better like that. Do it like that instead. We're on page 2. All right, when it gets up to 450, we are going to put this in the oven and we're actually going to roast it for 40 minutes. Then after that, we've got more we have to. Thank you. I didn't catch your name. I'm sorry. Swipe. Og. They're called fingerlings. I've never seen them like that either. No, they just call them fingerlings. I think it's the beginning of the I guess they'd call them better known as baby potatoes. Where do you want me to add the bottle of wine? 1 bottle of wine. Where do you want me to put this? They've left a step out. I'm trying to find it. Okay, they left one part out. What they want me to do next is not going to work. Hold on. You want the whole thing? Okay, you're going to pour in here 1 whole bottle of white wine. They didn't say that. I had to find it and read what they want me to do so we can sit there and do this right. He said lots of pepper and salt, so why not, right? Okay, so now it's ready. No, they bypass. They say you're going to use a whole bottle of wine, and then they don't give it to you when to put it in. Okay, so that's full now. I'll have to take care of it. All right. Thank you. So now we have to just wait till this hits 450. And then we're going to cook it for about 40 minutes, just like that. See, this is why people get discouraged, because you don't always get the instructions right. And people get disappointed. Miles, I have been married already. Threads here. We're getting stuff together. We just have to wait for the oven now. What they want us to do is they want us to wait till you get a nice brown. I'll read it to you. Till the skin starts to brown and get crisp. Okay, that's what we're going to be waiting for. That's why the 40 minutes. And then after that, hold on a minute. I have to turn the book. I've never made this one before. This is a new recipe for me. Then they want us to brush the pork skin with the pan juices and add the chicken stock. Then we'll be adding chicken stock, and then we're going to be roasting it for 3.5 hours, and we're going to have to baste it while we're doing it. They don't want the skin too dark, though. That's the one thing they say. So with me, instead of the chicken stock, I am going to use bone broth and my vegetable stock with the wine. That'll give me more flavor, and that's what I'm looking for. How much did it weigh? Just the standard size of a pork picnic shoulder. just go there. Okay? They only had one, so I took what they had. So, no, we're not cooking that Lasco. Mike, let me see. Hold on. Let me get it in the oven. Oh, God, is this thing heavy? Oh, you're going to make me read the paper. All right. Mike, you got me digging in the trash to get this information. I almost had a 10-pound, and that was a small one of the pork shoulder. I know that's going to be more than one meal, so. Really? Then you have small ones. Good morning, Vicki. Thomas. Grizz, good morning. So that's where we're at. Let's clock it. 26, 30, 40, 56. 6 after, and we'll check it. Somewhere around the hour. So I got a mess to clean up. But this is it's a one-pot dish. It's got the starch, it's got the vegetables, it's got the protein, it's got the gravy. The only thing you need is a glass of wine with this, and you'd be happy. A beautiful meal. I didn't know it was on sale. I just saw the recipe when I was reading it, and I said, God, this sounds really, really good. So that's why I got it. And I said, well, I'm going to go. I was surprised. There weren't many. There was only really one and one bigger than that, and that was too big, so I took that one because they were just bringing them out, and they only had those two. So I was lucky that I got it. Tacos out of yours, Mike? You never. Yeah, tacos are good. So the seasonings, we've got the red peppers, we've got sage and thyme, and black pepper and salt and vegetables, and bay leaf. That's a very nice combination. Those. Oh God. It did sound delicious. The next thing I want to make is some lamb shanks. Now, you know normally if you go to the store, you get a lamb shank about this big, right? I'm going to show you what my butcher got me. Look how big this lamb shank is. I didn't expect it to be this big because normally we only get them about this big, you know? So there's going to be a lot of meat on this when I cook these. The recipe calls for 4, and I said the size those are, I think 3 will be more than enough for my family. Okay. This recipe wasn't exact on your measurements except for the rub, so you sort of adjust it. But the rub was exact. Everything else was just say add. The wine, they did specifically say 1 whole bottle. But when it came to the salt and pepper and stuff on it, you have to judge it on your own. I can't tell you exactly because that's how they were. Like they said, a bundle of thyme. Well, if somebody's growing, what's their bundle compared to their bundle? You see? we're just waiting at this point. I don't know how they can get these so messed up. I'm gonna have to do this QRS. These are all messed up again. Oh yeah. You must be coming in from work. So there's more that we have to do with this. You and me too, Mike. I'm just cleaning up some, because we still have stock and stuff we have to add into it. It's not done adding ingredients. That's the only reason I'm leaving it running still. No, I've never heard of these fingerlings. I had to look them up myself. Okay. So you're an X-ray technician now, Mike? Look, I'm going to talk. Facing truth is very, very hard. It's very easy to blame God and everybody else for your circumstances, for decisions that you've made. And a lot of friendships break up because people tell you the truth of what they see. And people get offended by it. They really do. They don't want to hear it. They want to hear that everything is okay, I'm doing everything right, and this is a normal procedure in life. Usually I talk about nutrition. And people get upset. I'm not condemning your way of life. The way you live your life is your life. But you can't blame anybody. If you're sick in old age, you have arthritis, you have aches, you lose your teeth and stuff like this. That's what I'm getting ready to make, AJ, is myself some coffee. We're cooking a beautiful roast with a ton of vegetables in it and starch. I understand, but I don't have to be sensitive to your needs when I'm talking nutrition. In other words, don't talk about bowel movements, don't talk about this. What I talk about is generally things that they do know that's happening. Questions are, if it wasn't happening before, why is it happening now? And somebody got upset and said, I am leaving this channel. And I said, bye. I can't sugarcoat situations. Look, if you have a B6 deficiency, B6 is a diuretic. It's also good for the prenatal mask. It's also good for morning sickness, okay? Vitamin E keeps oxygen in. If your cells die too fast, they can't get them out fast enough, the dead, it's going to corrode. Cancer are the chemicals and stuff that your body is trying to protect itself and save your life. So they store it because they can't seem to get it out of the system because the system's backed up. So they put it in a tumor. That's what we call it. Well, they call it a holding pen. But once you rupture that holding pen, those cancer cells are going to run instantaneously. So I sit there and say, if you have a tumor, tell the doctor to cut it out. No, you're not going to test it while it's in my body. Cut it out and you can test it afterwards. You know, this way, so it's contained, and when it's taken out, it doesn't have time to spread. It's just like you open the corral, and you were holding all your horses, and somebody opens the corral, and all the horses take off, and you have a hard time catching it. And some of them you never get back. So the same thing with the cells, and they'll just find another place to make it a little cozy, and your body will go after it and say, well, we're going to store you here to contain you. So it's all the same thing. People don't want to hear it. I'm sorry you don't want to hear it, but these are some things that we do know about the human body. We don't know a lot about the human body, but we do have some basics that we know. All right? And I remember as they were learning about heart, and they were saying margarine is better for you. It'll prevent heart attacks. We got more heart attacks going on. We have more people on blood pressure. We have more people on heart medicine. We have more people with cancer now. We have more people that are having digestive problems. We're having more. You think about it. It seems our diseases are multiplying. And in my lifetime, the big thing was the polio, you know, and older people died of a heart condition, and that was it. A picnic pork shoulder. uh, I have two sons. Mike, I didn't work in nutrition. I did not work in a restaurant, because these are the questions I always get. I learned. You know, that's what I did. You read. It's there. The ARE opened up. My mother taught me some basic skills. Julia Child and James Beard were teaching me in cooking. I learned a lot from those two. And then I got into nutrition with Adele Davis, reading her books and the ARE, and then balancing diets and stuff like this. And you learned. You just actually learned. And one big thing that comes out of everything I've learned is you can't afford to miss anything in your diet. And it's amazing how, you know, people want to stay blind to it and eat what they want. A pork roast, a shoulder picnic roast. I just cook anything that looks good. I'm going to try. Okay? I can't say it any other way. If it looks good, it smells good, I'm going to try it. But I always tell everybody, if it runs across my plate, I am not eating it. Okay? That is about the limit. So I call the style that I cook more nutritious, because I'm always trying to make the recipes more nutritious. This channel is concerned about that if we can make the food more nutritious, we can hold on to our health longer. I'm 73. I'm not on any medications. All my teeth are mine. I don't have arthritis or anything. I go around doing what I have to do. I'm still moving slower because I'm 73, but I still keep going. Okay. Karen? All right. Let's see. Why, is Minnesota, I think? No, Sean, I do not. I did try it, though. That's what you see, D, is health. Good morning, Leslie and Putty Cat and Brittany. Okay. Let me put these up. So the only thing I'm going to serve with this is, I don't know what I'm going to serve with this. This is a complete meal. I don't have to serve anything but it. I'm always doing something in the house. Well, Mike, I agree with the processed food, but after what I saw what my husband went through, believe you me and medicine do not get along. If I have to, I'll do it. If I get a hold and I see a little bit of poison ivy and it touches, you can bet if I'm going to go out and I know there's there, I'm going to take 6 grams of vitamin C with rosehip and bioflavonoids 3 times a day for the next 5 days just to keep it at bay. Because I don't want to go and get, what is that medicine? Prednisone, I think is what I think it is. Oh, I can't remember anyway. I've taken enough of that when I came up here. I'd never heard of poison ivy until I came up here. Hi, Brittany. But I disagree with the care. No, I think a lot of the stuff that we're eating and the stuff they're putting in our food and what they're doing with everything is causing the diseases that we have today. I really do. That's how I believe. And if I live this whole life and I don't have to take medication and I just die one day, then it proves then that health has something to do with it. And you can live a good life instead of, as my sons are saying, Mommy, I see people 30 years old and they're falling apart. You know, I said, I know. But I can't, like they say, you can take the cow to the water, but you can't make it drink. This information is here for you. It's out there. You can read it. You can research it if you want and go in that direction. The ARE, you'll have a hard time getting in unless you become a member, and you have, I think it's a $2,000 membership to join to get your hands on those files and stuff. But the tooth powder I use came from the ARE. The shampoo and conditioners that I use and soap is all ARE. And that's what I use. And I think my skin definitely shows it. You know, I'm not saying that I'm not getting old. I'm not going to say that I'm going to stay youthful looking for the rest of my life. But we should be healthy in old age. All right. I know, how long have I been doing this? For a long time. I've made mistakes throughout it and everything else. I believed in nutrition that started to damage our teeth, and I put a stop to that right away. And I said, well, I am not going to believe a dietitian, that's for sure. She said, oh, this is the best diet in the world. Yeah, right. I just... If you don't look healthy and you don't have a nice disposition, then I would sit there, I'm going to have a banana nut muffin. You're not going to sell me on anything. You know, that's how I look at it. These are really good. Hi, Stella. Mike, we disagree. It doesn't mean anything. I can still talk, but that's my personal opinion. Yes, medicine saved my life, but my doctor is so eager to put me on something. If I have to, he treats me like I'm his wife, and I am not his wife. This body God gave to me to care for. Yes, Karen, I can too. Mm-hmm. Yes, Stella. They're old earrings, but they're nice. Mm. Yeah, I'm going to be making coffee, don't worry. If you're going to have muffins, banana, you must have milk. Okay, I have time. Yes, but why are the babies being born ahead of time? Mike, you don't ask that question. I'm not saying that saving babies is wrong, but why are women having problems when they hit 26 weeks? Why can't they carry them full term? Natalie, good morning. Karen, so I question why are we losing babies? The mother can't carry full term. Does that tell you about her health? coffee pot. So see, I question those things. I'm not saying your wife isn't doing something. Wife, it's beautiful. It is. She's saving the babies. But my thing is, why aren't the women carrying full term? Who are you talking to? I lost a baby. I went through a natural abortion. There was something wrong with the fetus, and it died. I've carried, but see, people like you think I'm downplaying. I want to go to the source. See, you're dealing with the after. You're talking about, well, she saves them. I'm talking about why are the women today not being able to carry full terms? This is what I'm talking about. Why are women having trouble breastfeeding? You know, you question. Do you know some women can't have breast milk? They don't have breast milk. Do you know why? Because they don't have enough B vitamins. B vitamins produce breast milk. A lot of it. So, I go back to the diet and the nutrition. Something is terribly wrong. My sons were 11 pounds and 10 something. They were big babies. Maybe that's why they're taller than me. So I don't go after the baby's born. I always go back to the question to the body and the health. I'm going to have another one of these muffins. They're really good. Don't worry, you got 13 more minutes. Yeah, we all are. I had to compensate for mine. I have trouble with the B2 and magnesium, so I had to compensate for my diet in that fact. All right, Corinne. I'm hungry this morning, so I'm going to have 2 muffins. Good morning, Sandra. I'm not saying everybody's unhealthy. I have questions. A lot of young people have crooked teeth. I have crooked teeth. This comes from a protein, and the bone's not developing to their fullness, so therefore there's not enough room for the teeth to come in. So see, Mike, I put myself in the same boat, but I compensate and try to keep this body going. You think I'm thinking myself a better than everybody? No, I don't. Oh, dang, I gotta go outside. Let's see. Well, it's 5:45. I gotta get there at 6. Are y'all be able to do that? Mystic. I don't know everything. Even scientists don't know everything about nutrition, but you know your body. know it's missing or not missing. My husband was told after he came back from Vietnam that he was he needed iodine. His body was low on iodine, so he used to take extra iodine, not in tablet form, came from the ARE from a reading how he had to take it, so many drops, then off so many days, and he did that. And that balanced him out, because I know if you have iodine problem, you're pretty much going to have a thyroid problem. And he was strong. My husband was very strong. But when he started taking medication, long term, his body started falling apart. And no matter what I did, we could not get his body back. But remember, not everybody knows about nutrition. They don't, well, I should say, they know a little about nutrition, all right? Scientists and stuff really don't know. They're learning. They can see the cell is like a whole community, but they don't know why it does what it does, works the way it does, or anything else. But the thing that got me was, I'm going to try to get everything in the body so the body can function. I seem to be doing something right. Mike, everybody has a short somewhere in their body because of the way generations are eating. I don't know what yours is to be able to tell you, but you should be able to look at your body, not going by medical standards, going by your standards. If you have aches and pains, and you've been drinking liquor, beer, or wine all a lot, every time you have that, your body does not function for days afterwards. So anything that you eat to cause it to be healthy is going down the hill. You see, I fell, hit concrete in my face, and bent my hand back, way back out. I had to pull it back. I did it by myself. I pulled my fingers and I pulled them straight again. And I expected to see a big bruise right here. Not one bruise. Vitamin C, they know, is the vitamin that brings sunshine. In other words, they say you feel better. It protects your walls and prevents you from bruising. It takes a lot before you can bruise. Vitamin E, D-alpha-ketopherol, spelled with a Y, they know brings oxygen. Okay? Now they know the liver is the only organ in the human body that can repair itself if you give it all. But do you know your liver only produces 1 tablespoon of lecithin a day? And that's 2 B vitamins. And those 2 B vitamins eat cholesterol up. They eat fat up. It also makes your brain is full of lecithin. They know that niacinamide is a B vitamin that's missing in a lot of our foods because they process them. And niacinamide is needed for the brain to wake up and come out of the fog. That's why people who smoke usually have a cigarette when they get up in the morning to get the brain going, because the body is using the nicotine in place of the niacinamide because you're not giving it niacinamide. Breads only have 3 B vitamins. There's a whole bunch of B vitamins that causes an imbalance. That's why if you watch me long enough, you see I add wheat germ, or I'll add some wheat flour to make sure that it's somewhere in the food. If you don't know nutrition, but you want your family healthier, you could sit there and when you make bread, add a half a cup of whole wheat flour into your white flour that you add to make your bread. You're getting something is better than nothing. Yes, I know about that too, folic acid. But the government took folic acid out. Did you know folic acid is a natural antibiotic if you don't process the foods? But the government said, the doctors went to the Congress and sat there and said, look, we can't get our antibiotics, the synthetic antibiotics, to work because this vitamin, the body refuses to use ours instead and uses folic acid instead of what we have. So the government took it out of the food, take folic acid out of the food. Then they noticed we started having problems. So they said, all right, put some back into the food, but not too much. So the antibiotics the doctors give you work. But folic acid is natural with whole grains. So you could sit there and get the folic acid, you get your antibiotics, you don't get sick. Isn't that interesting? So no, they took it out. Then we have this problem. Then they had to put it back in, and they have it under control. You can only get so much. And yet you need it for the DNA and the RNA that produces these bodies and repairs and stuff. But do they listen? No. It's control. It's all control. When it's not controlled, the food is nutritious. But they put a lot of stuff in it that makes it very difficult for everybody to get what they need, so they have to work at this. Do I know everything about nutrition? Heck no. I'm not going to say I know. I'd be a liar if I said, oh, I know everything. No, I don't. But what I know well. I don't like morning sickness. Being pregnant, I had 1 day of morning sickness. Out came the B6. I was not going to bring up what I just put down. So, I understand what you're saying, Mike. You're defending your wife and what she does. I understand that. But I still go back to what is happening to the diets. Our food is so processed at this point, and people have gotten so lazy they don't cook and get into the kitchen any more than they have to, which makes it difficult. Oh, I need this. I got to measure the stuff out. Listen, do you even try, Mike? Do you really try? Do you sit there and change your whole eating habits into getting more nutrition into your body and do it for about 10 years? Because remember, it takes 7 years for every cell to sit there and be replaced in the human body. It's not something that happens overnight. I wouldn't want to be a nurse or a doctor. Few minutes. And then what are we going to be doing? How much chicken stock do you want here? Two quarts. Well, I have a quart and a half here. Oh. Yes, I bake also. So they want us to add 2 quarts of chicken stock, but I'm not doing that. I am going to add vegetable stock and bone broth. Mike, I look at it this way. If I need medicine or I need help, but if I can avoid it at all due cost, I will. I will go in another direction, in different directions. And if it doesn't work, full nutrition will work for everybody. I disagree with you on that note. There are a lot of bodies that are short now, and it would take, like Casey said, it takes 4 generations to undo what you've done to the body. So if you run short, like on pantothenic acid, and you have dark circles under your eyes and your grandparents and all, well, it's short of that vitamin, and it will take 4 generations to clear that up with a proper balanced diet. A proper balanced diet will help everybody. You can pick and choose all you want, but a full diet with all the nutrition every day, the body can be running much better, much longer. And any children that come from them, and they keep up like that eating, you will notice within 4 generations there wouldn't be any diseases. So we've actually caused our diseases with the pollution and the way we eat and the way we eat refined foods and what we've done to the foods. We've done this to ourselves. Everything we have done. Like people say, oh, the dinosaurs died off because of great. No, man killed them off. We killed them off because we wanted more land and food for ourselves instead of sharing it with them. So, nobody can tell me that it doesn't work on everybody. Full health with full nutrition works for anybody if you want it. But if you have a short that's been generations of a nutrient, it will take 4 generations to bring it back up and get it normal. Yeah, we grew up with lead paint, but we didn't eat it. We weren't that stupid. I mean, we did a lot of stupid things, but we didn't do that. Mike, you should check out more history. But anyway, we did kill the dinosaurs off. Mankind was the cause of killing them, and you'll find out about that soon enough. I don't believe any, meteor hit and killed all the dinosaurs off. No. When they find soft tissue, still pliable, and blood cells that are still alive, these animals have just recently been killed. Other ones that are preserved and compact, they died instantaneously because there was no corrosion or anything on them. That talks about a massive Noah's flood and the earth being ripped apart. I mean, sometimes I look at these mountains, and I said, these mountains are really big. But if you look on a small scale, when it floods and then the water recedes, you see next to the trees, you see dirt and stuff thrown up against the tree, right? I said, if dinosaurs are as huge, especially Goliath, and they walk this earth, when you think about this, Sandy, this is Sandy thinking to herself, I said, are those broken trees where the water and stuff threw up against what was left of the tree, and then they stood there, and then, slowly through time, the trees and stuff grew and all, and they actually ended up being mountains? I don't know. It's just a question. I know a horny toad looks like a dinosaur. I love those little things. Little tiny guys. Okay, let's get this out for a minute and check it. Whoa! Okay, I gotta take you out for a minute so we can finish this up. Oh God, darn. Okay. All right, let me get you over here, not knocking my coffee off. Oh, hello, Jason. All right, here's the roast so far that we're working on. It's starting to brown. They want me to baste it. Okay, if I can get the juice from here, I will. Oh, this is not gonna go. They want you to baste this with the wine before you add the stock and stuff to it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now, if the skin gets too dark, they say, all what you have to do is put some foil over it to prevent it from doing that, okay? All right, now they want us to add 2 quarts of stock. 2 quarts of chicken stock. Well, I'm using my vegetable stock. Here's the vegetable. Oh, this is going to be rich. Okay, that's it. Now this is going to be cooking for the next 3.5 to 4 hours. I'm going to put it in and just let it finish cooking. So remember, if the skin gets too dark, all what you have to do is put foil over it, but do baste it periodically while it's cooking. Okay? Oh God. That is heavy. Okay, so I am going to leave you now for that. Dream, you must not have seen the beginning of it. We seasoned it. It's all in the inside. I know it is. It's huge. That's going to be more than one meal, definitely for us. Thank you, Roy. So listen, I'm going to let all of you go because I cannot see holding this for 3 hours while that cooks. Do remember to baste this periodically. They do say that. Baste it a lot. Okay. So listen, all of you take care. Enjoy your day. I might come on live to show you the end so you can actually see what this meal looks like. So that'll be later in the morning, okay? Okay, Okla. All of you take care. Bye-bye.